A state report details some allegations of hazing made against a high school football program. What players and school leaders are telling us about it.
I'm in pain every day. I have to have help to get out of bed.
A Central Kentucky woman tells us what she's been through since being injured by a hit-and-run driver nearly a month ago.
Scam Week continues with a look at how you can avoid becoming a victim of skimmers that may be hidden inside gas pumps.
This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening. Some disturbing allegations tonight against the Rowan County High School football program. A state investigation claims to have found evidence of hazing among the players.
Investigators claim some of those players ended up injured. They say it happened a few years ago while the previous coach was in charge. Hillary Thornton has reaction from players and school leaders in our top story at 6.
Ray Graham took the reins of the Rowan County High School football program back in 2014. In those first 2 months, parents say stories started of senior players mistreating underclassmen. They also claim under Graham's leadership, several younger players suffered head injuries. Those numbers given in the Office of Education Accountability report stating the first year there were 4 concussions reported, all during practice. The next year, Vikings players suffered 12 concussions, only 4 of those during games. We spoke to several parents, all off camera, who say their children experienced the alleged negative culture firsthand. The report saying those parents claim they met with Principal Ray Ginter and Superintendent Marvin Moore about the bullying, hazing, concussions during practice, lack of discipline, and the injuries inflicted by senior players. Those parents say as a result, nothing was done. The report finding the superintendent and principal violated state law by failing to investigate and provide a safe school.
I'm a middle school coach, and I actually sat in on some of those meetings that Coach Graham had with some of the kids. And I know I've talked to the staff, some of the staff members out there as well. It was addressed.
While some parents say all of the problems found in that OEA report are 100% true, others who support Coach Graham say they've been blown out of proportion.
I was proud to say that I played for Coach Graham.
Trevor Utterback, an underclassman during the seasons in question.
And he never let one person hurt another player, haze, anything. Nothing like that went on. And that's coming from me as a freshman.
Graham's contract not renewed for the upcoming season. His attorney saying the coach denies the findings in the OEA report.
Yeah, you kind of miss him a little bit, to be honest with you.
In Rowan County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
In a statement, Rowan County Superintendent Marvin Moore said this was a personnel issue that was addressed as soon as it was brought to school leaders' attention.
New tonight, a Powell County grand jury has indicted a woman who police say shot and killed her ex-boyfriend. 33-year-old Melissa Roberts of Stanton now faces a murder charge. Police say they arrested her this afternoon. In April, police say Roberts shot Stephen Strange after he showed up at her home and confronted her. After the shooting, we obtained the 911 call police say Roberts made after the shooting.
I just shot him and he's laying on the floor. He came in my house.
We've met the patient on the road. Okay, what is your name?
Melissa Roberts.
Okay, where's
I think he's dead.
Court records show Melissa Roberts did have an emergency protective order out against Strange at the time of the shooting.
She suffered serious injuries when a car hit her moped nearly a month ago, and tonight a Boyle County woman wants to know who's responsible. The driver of the car did not stop after hitting Angela Fox near the intersection of Highway 2168 and US 127 just outside of Danville, and police still haven't found that person. New at 6, Sean Moody talks to Fox about the crash and her recovery.
Those oil spots there on the shoulder at 2168 mark the spot where Angela Fox's very last moped ride came to an end. A car hit her from behind here along the road and knocked her out of control. She's thankful she's still alive, but she's frustrated that driver is still out there. Life has been a lot different for Angela Fox since June 20th.
Hell. Live in hell. I'm in pain every day. I have to have help to get out of bed. It's not a fun life.
She said she was driving her moped home from work late that night. As she drove along 2168, she noticed another car approaching behind her.
He hit me right in the tail end. All these scratches is where the scooter actually slid down the road with me. So I had to literally drag myself to my scooter to get my phone. When he saw me move, he left.
Fox was in the hospital for days with neck injuries. She's thankful it wasn't worse.
Thank God I had my helmet on, because I honestly believe I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that.
Fox wants whoever was behind the wheel of that car to own up to what happened.
If you've got a heart, let somebody know. Tell somebody. I'm not out to prosecute nobody, but have a heart. And probably an apology is all I would need. I go on with life.
She said her doctor expects her to make a full recovery. Even so, she says she's driven that moped for the last time.
I'm done with it. It's too scary. If you're scared of something, you can get hurt on it.
Angela says she hopes to be able to go back to work sometime soon. In Boyle County, Sean Moody, WKYT.
An investigator at the Boyle County Sheriff's Office said none of their leads so far have panned out. Tonight, police in Nicholasville are asking for your help finding a man they say robbed a grocery store. It happened around 3:30 this morning at the Kroger on South Main Street. Police say the man asked a cashier at the self-checkout line for change for a $50 bill. When the cashier opened the drawer, police say the man pulled out a knife and demanded all of the money. He then ran out the front door. Nicholasville police say the surveillance video is clear enough, so they hope someone will recognize the robber.
The violence the last several weeks has police departments around this country looking at how they do their jobs and what kind of trust they have with people in their community. After the shootings in Dallas, we talked to Lexington's chief of police about how he believes his officers are viewed in this community and what he's done to help make the department an open book.
I tell people every time we meet, we're open. You want to go do a ride along with us? I tell the leaders all the time, come to our academy, speak to our academy, know our officers. So it's an open academy. We want leadership in our community to know who we are, what we do, and the training that we have.
It's a challenging time for the chief, who started with the department 30 years ago and now leads a department of about 600 that does include 120 officers with less than 3 years of experience. Tonight at 11, why he believes open, honest communication is a key to moving forward as a country after the last several weeks of violence. Day 2 of the Republican National Convention underway, and tonight Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell of Kentucky is one of the featured speakers.
Earlier today, Senator McConnell said he believes that Donald Trump has improved throughout the election, and he calls Trump's selection of Indiana Governor Mike Pence as a running mate a smart choice.
During the primaries, there was a lot of argument about whether Trump would, in fact, be a conservative president. I no longer have any doubt about that, and I think that's very important in unifying the party and getting us ready for the general election.
Also tonight, Donald Trump will receive the formal Republican nomination for president. CBS convention coverage will begin at 10 tonight right here on WKYT.
Oh, you can feel it out there. It's been a steamy day across the Bluegrass. Temperatures about 90 degrees. And don't expect a cool down soon. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has an early look at that summer forecast.
Yeah, finally starting to feel the part out there, Sam, as we go through the next several days, highlighting this week for the hottest stretch of weather so far this summer. Mother Nature and delivering the sweaty goods over the next few days. Live look in Lexington, 90 degrees right now. Feels like it is 94, though, and it's that rare combination of a northerly wind and a 90-degree temperature that is showing up across Lexington. Most other thermometers are into the upper 80s, as in now mid-80s showing up southeastern Kentucky. Heat index values obviously hotter the farther west that we go. How about anything on Defender Radar Network? Not a whole lot out there. Southern Kentucky, we've had some showers and thunderstorms here. As expected, a lot of that continuing to sink into the volunteer state of Tennessee. Cold front is on top of the area. Back to the northwest of that, watching a little cluster of some thunderstorms that tries to make a run at western parts of Kentucky late tonight into early tomorrow morning. Here's the future radar. Watch the timeline, top right corner of your screen. Most areas will stay dry, but it is all about the steam and some occasional storms showing up in the 7-day forecast when I get back in a few minutes.
Chris, thank you. For most drivers, the first thing you notice at the gas station is the price per gallon. But there's something else the Department of Agriculture wants you to keep an eye on: skimmers. Our Scam Week investigations continue tonight as Miranda Combs tells us the Kentucky Department of Agriculture is watching for skimmers too.
It's gauges and measures like these packed in the back of a pickup that check the accuracy of the 60,000 gas pumps in Kentucky. It's a big number, but an even bigger one, $3 billion. That's the dollar amount Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles is after.
over $3 billion each year is lost due to credit card theft that starts and originates at gas pumps in the United States.
And it's spreading here.
And sometimes they can hit a gas station and steal up to 500 credit cards at once and be gone without anyone ever noticing it.
They are skimmers. Thieves put illegal hardware on the gas pump credit card reader, and the skimmers copy the credit card information.
The problem with skimmers is that oftentimes a criminal can steal a batch of credit cards, retrieve the skimmer, and move on to the next gas station, sometimes within a matter of hours.
And now Quarles says the scammers don't even have to come back for the skimmers.
Some of them actually have Bluetooth capability where the credit card information can be downloaded without ever retrieving the actual hardware that is attached to gas pumps.
So what can you do to protect yourself from skimmers? Check for security tape on the pump. Also check the lock to make sure it hasn't been tampered with. This panel right here, check to make sure it hasn't been pried open by anyone.
It's my belief that the gas stations themselves, they don't want to be involved in a skimmer issue, and so they're being proactive, they're working with us, but they're also checking and investing in software that helps detect this as well.
And Quarles' department is pitching in. When they stop to check pumps with this measure, they're now checking for skimmers. They recently found one in Lexington and a half dozen others across the state.
It is a theft that oftentimes goes unnoticed.
Quarles knows there's more out there.
And for us, this is just an extra visual inspection while our inspectors are at these gas stations yearly already to try to check and cut down on credit card theft.
A simple check in a sophisticated scam.
And the Ag Department inspects each gas station once a year, so it's still going to take work on the part of the customer and the gas stations to cut down on skimmers. Quarles says some gas stations are investing in technology to know when a skimmer has been attached to a pump, but there are obviously no laws requiring gas stations to do that right now.
So we know we should all check like you just showed us, but also a good reminder to check those bank statements and credit card statements too.
Right, because it can slip right by you, and it probably is a lot.
All right, good advice, Miranda. Thank you.
Pay attention. All right, the football home of the Cats will be opening its doors to Pokemon Go players tomorrow. We have details about that coming up.
And then some good news for drivers. A busy street on the UK campus has now reopened. Commonwealth Stadium's going to be busy tomorrow afternoon, but it has nothing to do with the Cats.
No, they're not playing football. Instead, Pokemon hunters will be taking over. UK plans to open Commonwealth Stadium for Pokemon Go players from 4:30 to 6:30 tomorrow afternoon. UK leaders say you can enter the stadium through gate number 9. Parking will be available in the red lot off University Drive.
New tonight, a Lexington street has reopened after being closed for a few months for construction. Avenue of Champions is now open between South Limestone and Lexington Avenue. That stretch had closed a few months ago as part of the construction of the new University of Kentucky Student Center. The Herald Leader reports crews had to place storm and sanitary lines under the street.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Starting to steam it up out there today. Thermometers for the first time in a while for some of us hitting 90 degrees, sign of things to come. And the thunderstorms not getting too far away from us. Live look outside, 9 live sky cams taking you from Interstate 65 all the way into the mountains of southeastern Kentucky and everywhere in between with a similar view, mix of sun and some clouds across the region. Upper 80s to close to 90 degrees into much of the area, mid 80s showing up into northern and eastern parts of the area. Heat index, what your body thinks the temperature is as you combine the thermometer and the humidity. Feels like it is 93, 94 degrees across most of the Bluegrass region. We're still going to watch for the possibility for a little popcorn shower thunderstorm to go up this evening. Most areas should stay dry, but I am seeing just a little development here around Indianapolis and back into parts of Illinois where some bigger thunderstorms are lurking to the northwest. With a front that is draped across the region, we'll watch that northwestern skyline for at least some scattered stuff over the next few days. Tomorrow, did you like today? It's very similar. Upper 80s to around 90, give or take a degree or two. Warmer west, a little cooler to the east. Yada, yada, yada with an isolated shower thunderstorm threat. Throw in the humidity, it's going to feel hotter than that. So steamy temperatures tomorrow, that small threat for a thunderstorm or two. A little better shot for a storm on Thursday, 90-ish, low 90s, upper 80s. 90 to 95 coming up for the day on Friday with a few storms that will be around. The humidity, though, is really going to be the big factor over the next several days. That humidity is going to make it feel hotter than the thermometer says. And at times, Friday and or Saturday, outside of thunderstorms, it may feel closer to 100 degrees for a heat index. Hour by hour, let's rock and roll with it. See what we can find for the day tomorrow. Temperatures, upper 80s to around 90, and then look at this, where it fires up a thunderstorm or two. It's got low 80s showing up. So some pockets that will be hotter than the rest of the area. Muggy tomorrow night. We may not drop below the low 70s. Heading into the day Thursday, still the threat for a shower or thunderstorm that can keep temperatures down just a little bit, but a lot of areas, again, upper 80s to low 90s. I'm going to say that a lot over the next few days. Then look what happens on Friday. Flow again could bring a thunderstorm in here, and any day that features some thunderstorms around here will be a little cooler, and we've got a lot of green grass, we've got a lot of vegetation, we've got a lot of moisture in the soil. It is hard in Kentucky to get a prolonged period of heat that is out of the ordinary. So the real hot stuff is going to stay to our west. Some of that will get into western Kentucky over the next few days, but across central and eastern Kentucky, the thunderstorm threat is going to be there. We were just showing you some of that showing up on the hour-by-hour forecast Thursday and Friday. I think that will actually increase this weekend into early next week as that heat ridge goes back to the west. And what does that mean for temperatures? We'll peak on Friday in all likelihood at 90 to 95, and then we'll slowly start to storm it up again into the first half of next week. Next week may actually be back into that full-blown stormy pattern that we've spent most of the summer in.
Well, we'll wait and see for that next week.
Sweat it out this week.
We will. Thank you, Chris.
You ready for some tailgating?
Yes, sir.
I knew you were. We're counting down the start, Rob, to the football season.
Well, it is just 6 weeks away now. Mark Stoops appearing on ESPN earlier in the day. We'll hear a little bit of what he had to say. And she is only in the 5th grade, but she is a world champion from right here in Kentucky. The story is up next in sports. Kentucky's Mark Stoops spending the day up at ESPN along with other coaches in the SEC. It is called the Car Wash. Stoops believes there is plenty to be excited about in his program. UK will unveil its new practice facility at the end of the week, and fall camp is now just a little more than 2 weeks away. So, what is the first thing he will ask his players when they come in?
What have we done? You know, did we increase our capacity to handle more? Can we pay attention to detail for longer periods of time when we're in our meetings and studying film? Can we practice at a high level and have that attention to detail and that focus for an entire practice, for an entire week, for an entire camp? And, you know, how much did we mature in that area?
And as we have each night, we are counting you down to the start of the season. Just 46 days away now. 46 is the number worn by linebacker Ronnie Snead, was the number worn by linebacker Ronnie Snead and defensive back Jerry Claiborne. In 1946, the Bear became UK's head coach, and last year, Juice Johnson caught 46 passes. To see more of our countdown, head over to WKYT.com. The National Archery in the Schools program was launched in 21 Kentucky middle schools back in 2002. Since then, it has expanded to 27 states and Canada and is taught in grades 4 through 12. The top female archer in the world is from right here in Kentucky. Lee K. Howard has her story.
This is one of the targets that I won.
Not many people,
And that's the trophy.
can claim to be the best in the world.
And this is the plaque.
But in London, Kentucky, Savannah Philpott is just that.
And then you pull it back and focus on your aim point and shoot, and then don't miss it.
The 11-year-old recently claimed first place at the National Archery in the Schools program World Tournament in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Going into it, I knew she was really nervous, and what I told her, I said, we're not worried about the other scores. I said, we're going to focus on shooting your best score.
Savannah's score of 295 out of a possible 300 not only was tops among all elementary females, but it was the best overall score for the 2,000 female archers in grades 4 through 12.
I just didn't know what to do.
If Savannah was nervous competing against the other top archers, she didn't show it, scoring back-to-back perfect rounds to start the competition.
I didn't know what to do because I got 250s in the beginning, so I was just all excited.
By the end of the 5th round, her dad knew she was on target to accomplish something special.
At that time, I looked back at my wife and told her, I said, not only is this looking like maybe a top finish in elementary of, I said, she's running for overall. And then that last round, she needed a 49 to put her at a 295, and she shot a 295 on the last scoring round and finished with a 295 out of 300.
In winning the competition, she made history by being the first fifth grader to win top overall female in the world competition. In London, Lee K. Howard, WKYT.
Only in the 5th grade, what a story. Sam Amber, back to you.
Any relation at all?
No relation, but I am extremely proud of that young lady. Good for her.
She's impressive. Final check of your first alert forecast is next.
And then on the CBS Evening News, will Russia send a team to Rio? The World Anti-Doping Agency says the country should be banned from this year's Olympics. We have all run out of things to talk to Chris about with the weather when it's just hot and possibly stormy.
Well, it's the time of year I put it on autopilot anyway, so we're all in the same boat. Next few days, 90-ish, then 90 to 95 coming up on Friday. Smallest threat for a thunderstorm the next few days. Better chances late weekend into early next week as that heat all of a sudden begins to go back to the west, similar to where it's been most of the summer.
I'm glad Amber jumped in because I'm at a loss.
You had nothing?
Rob didn't say anything either, so.
Thanks so much for joining us. We will see you back here tonight at 11.